Hello, I'm Jenny Glick, licensed marriage and family therapist, certified sex therapist. But for you in this space, I'm a way shower guide, a torchbearer, some might call a wise woman to help guide you in and through relationships so that you can be really the best version of yourself. So, today we're going to talk about breakups. And one of the hardest parts of breaking up with another person is that then you get to be with yourself. And if you've been in a relationship for a period of time where there has been strife and struggle, your focus has probably been on the other person. So, if you're the one who is the breaker upper, right? You maybe have been logging all of the ways that your partner is late, doesn't attend to you, doesn't get you. Maybe your sex life hasn't been what you've wanted it to be. Whatever your complaints are, you've been keeping score about those complaints for a period of time and focused on the other person and those complaints. So then when we get to this stage of breaking up with that person, what can happen is that now he or she is no longer there to be the object of your attention. Now they're gone. And what can happen is that you are still thinking about them. We call it perseverating, right? So perseverating on a person means you're looping in those thoughts over and over and over again about how, they deserve for you to have broken up with them, that you can't believe that you tolerated them for so long. You might have a voice in your head that's beating yourself up saying, why did I not break up sooner? And so the powerful moment that is available for you during a breakup is to notice where your mind is going, where your mind is taking you. Because a breakup, like so many parts of our adult life, offer us on a silver platter an opportunity to self-initiate, which means maturing yourself into a wholer human being. And a breakup is an initiatory moment for you. We don't generally think about it like that. We think about it as just like something that happened, right? That invariably this relationship was going to run its course. And so you decided to break up with this person. And so now you're just going to go on your merry way and possibly find someone who is better, right? How I see it, if you really want to harvest so much growth and goodness and experience a kind of ritual through the breakup, is give yourself the opportunity to turn that gaze that you had been focusing on the other person back to yourself. So I was talking to a client of mine this morning, and she recently went through a breakup. And she's doing the thing that so many of us do when we go through a breakup, which is spinning in her mind, either questioning herself, why did she wait so long? Or turning her focus on the person that she broke up with and making up stories that make her crazy. Like maybe he was cheating for, months or years. And why was she so stupid that she didn't see it sooner? And why did she let it go on for so long? And maybe if she would have waited a little bit longer, he would have changed, right? So all of those things that your mind is doing, super typical, right? Some might call normal. I would say it's a highly conditioned practice to keep yourself in suffering. So even though you've already broken up with this person, and presumably the reason why you broke up with them is because you were suffering in the relationship because it wasn't a good fit. Now you're leaving the relationship and you're perpetuating the suffering by being the perpetrator of suffering towards yourself. And that does not make for a joyful life. And that's not why it is that you initiated the breakup to begin with. And similarly, if you're on the other side of this, and if you are what would it be called? The break-e up? You got broken up with, right? If that's the case, then in that position, your mind might be going to thoughts of, how could this have happened? Why did he or she do this to me? This isn't fair. So notice where it is that your mind is taking you, because our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts sort of lay the architecture, and then our feelings come in, our beliefs come in, our behaviors come in, and that creates this entire experience for you that you then park yourself inside of, and that becomes your reality. And what I have found in my 20 plus years of doing this work is that most people just allow their minds to run crazy, and just whatever your mind thinks, you believe, you entertain, you set a table for it, basically. And you just keep listening to the nonsense in your mind. And I'm going to tell you something that might sound controversial. Maybe it is. I don't know. Your mind is a liar. It's a liar. It tells you so many lies. It says things all the time that are not true. And then you believe it. And then you have all these feelings about it. And so when you have a breakup, whether you're the one breaking up or the other, the one who's broken up with, it's a powerful opportunity for you to notice what's the architecture of that moment for you. What is your thinking, feeling, believing, and doing? Because all four of those things create an energetic signature. It's like a home that you live in and you call your reality. So in that moment, you can be a victim to the situation. You can, whether you're the one who broke up with the person or not, you can put yourself in the position where you're a victim. And I believe we live in a culture where we're super addicted to being victims for ourselves, for other people. We're trying to rescue victims all the time. We see people as victims. We see how we've been victimized in the past. And yes, there is a reality where victimization is happening in this world. So we do not need to perpetuate it further by how it is that we treat ourselves in the privacy of our own minds. Right? Because that is one thing that you do have some level of authority over, so you may as well exercise it. Most of us don't do that. So if you're going through a breakup and you want to really harvest all of the goodness from this experience, become so awake, aware, and alert to what the reality is that you are constructing. I would suggest that you write down what you're thinking, what you're telling yourself. And then, and this is what I told my client this morning, imagine your next partner, your next boyfriend or girlfriend or whomever, your lover down the road, if they were to say those things to you. So if you fast forward 6 months, had a new partner who said to you, wow, that was really stupid. I can't believe that you stayed so long in that relationship. Right? Is that something that would feel good for you? Maybe, because maybe it would help you partner with that person to make the other person wrong, right? But that's a huge yellow flag to me, because if your new partner is partnering with you against someone else, I would almost guarantee you that at some point, that person is going to partner with somebody else to be against you. Right? And so really noticing what it is that you are saying to yourself, and then imagine if somebody else said those things to you. Like, that was so stupid for you to stay so long. Would you want a partner who said that to you? Whether it was true or not. Most of the women and men who I work with would not want someone to call them stupid, would not want to be in an intimate partnership with another human being who is going to put down a choice that they made in the past. Because the truth is, you had to go through that, or else you wouldn't have. Right? Part of the path of being an initiated human is learning acceptance. Apparently, that's what needed to happen, because it's what happened. And as long as I'm in resistance to it, as long as I'm making myself wrong or them wrong, I'm living back there, right? All of my energy is back in that place. So I've built the architecture of my thinking, feeling, doing, and believing. My energetic signature is all back there, all in. I can't believe that I chose to be with that person for 6 years, 10 years. And then I'm a victim to that situation. And so if I'm going to partner with somebody today who's going to say, yeah, you screwed up, you shouldn't have done that, then I'm going to stay in that same reality. And I'm not going to get anything new, which is usually what happens in relationship. Usually we go from one relationship, we break up or we get dumped, either way. And then we just take all of that perseverating thoughts, those thoughts, thinking, feeling, believing, and doing that energetic signature, and we just do it again. And we do it again, and we do it again. And then we wonder, why is it that I can't choose someone who's different? How come I keep choosing all the bad apples? And that is why. And so really noticing how it is that you treat yourself during a breakup. And if you would not want your future partner to treat yourself that way, to treat you that way, then you might consider doing it differently. Because if we want to have a new next level relationship next time, you have to become a different version of you. And I teach this in my Your Marriage is Your Ashram course. It's for women. And we talk about, I walk you through going from your 1.0 self to your 2.0 self, which I know is super elementary, but sometimes we need it in such specific, simple ways. Because when we are suffering, when we are hurt, when we feel depressed and sad, what happens is we drop into these lowest common denominators ways of being in the world. Right? I'm tongue-tied today for some reason. And so those behaviors will be behaviors like abandoning yourself to being hard on yourself, self-hatred, self-criticism, isolating yourself, beating yourself up. I call that self-terrorizing. So those practices are really common during the course of a breakup. And if all of that stuff is coming up, to me, this is a very exciting moment for you because it's a moment where you get to flush out what has been living in you that whole time during that relationship, but now you get to see it because we can't change any parts of ourselves until we see what's there. And so when you're in this moment that I know feels so excruciating, and I know there's so much grief and sadness, don't rush by it. Slow down and be with these parts. So start taking an inventory of what you're thinking. And for 5 million bonus points, you can write down what you're feeling, what the beliefs are, what your actions are, and then look at how that character creates an energetic signature, right? That's a way that you feel in the world. And if that is not who you want to be or how you want to experience the world, you can change it. So I have a lot of resources below in the comments if you want to check them out. If you have any questions or if you have a cool takeaway, post it in the comments, like, subscribe, do all the things. Thanks so much for being here.